Quantum computing stocks have been exploding lately. Some of them have gone up hundreds of percent in a very short time. But here is the uncomfortable truth most people are ignoring. This might actually be the worst time to buy quantum computing stocks. And if you jump in right now, you could end up holding a very expensive bag. In this video, I'm going to explain why I believe investors should be extremely careful with quantum computing stocks this year. And don't worry, I'll also tell you when they might actually become a great investment. If you enjoy investing content like this, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel because I make videos about ETFs, dividend strategies, and long-term investing opportunities. Also, quick disclaimer before we start. This video is just my personal opinion and not financial advice. Always do your own research before investing. The quantum computing hype. Right now, quantum computing is one of the most exciting technologies in the world. Companies like IonQ, Rigetti Computing, D-Wave Quantum have seen huge investor interest. And the reason is simple. Quantum computers could potentially solve problems that traditional computers cannot handle. Things like drug discovery, complex simulations, and advanced encryption. So naturally, investors see huge future potential. But here is the problem. The future potential is already priced into these stocks today. Many quantum companies are valued in the billions of dollars despite having extremely small revenues and continuing losses. That's a huge red flag. Next, the revenue problem. Let's talk about the biggest issue with quantum computing companies. Most of them barely generate revenue. Some of these companies are still making only a few $1 million per quarter while reporting large operating losses. In fact, many of these companies are still in the research and development phase, meaning commercial adoption could still be many years away. Investors today are basically betting on what the industry might look like 10 to 20 years in the future. That's not investing, that's speculation. Third problem, extreme valuations. Another reason I'm cautious about buying these stocks this year is valuation risk. Some quantum computing stocks trade at extremely high multiples compared to their current revenue. These companies are valued based almost entirely on future expectations, not current profits. And history shows us that when investors start pricing in perfect futures, stocks become very fragile. If expectations change even slightly, these stocks can drop 50% or more very quickly. Next, competition from tech giants. Here is another important factor most people overlook. The biggest winners in quantum computing might not be these small companies. They might actually be the tech giants. Companies like Nvidia, Microsoft, Alphabet, or Google are investing billions of dollars into quantum research. And they have something the smaller companies don't have. Massive cash reserves, world-class engineers, and existing cloud infrastructure. That means smaller quantum startups may struggle to compete long-term. One more problem, the technology is still early. Another reason I'm staying cautious is the quantum computing itself is still very early. There are still major challenges like error correction, scaling qubits, stability and reliability. And even experts in the field admit that commercially useful quantum computers may still take years to develop. So if the technology itself isn't ready yet, why rush to buy the stocks today? So when quantum stocks might be worth buying? Now don't get me wrong, I actually believe quantum computing could become a massive industry in the future. But great technologies don't always mean great investments immediately. Sometimes the best strategy is simply to wait. Wait for real revenue growth, clear commercial applications, and more reasonable valuations. That's when these stocks might become much safer investments. So what's my personal strategy? Personally, instead of chasing speculative quantum startups right now, I would rather invest in companies that are already profitable and still developing quantum technologies. For example, companies like Nvidia, Microsoft, Alphabet, or Google, these companies benefit from quantum progress without relying on it to survive. So you get exposure to the future without taking extreme risk. So to summarize, quantum computing is an incredibly exciting technology. But right now, many quantum computing stocks are driven more by hype than fundamentals. That's why I personally believe this might not be the best year to buy them. Maybe the smarter move is simply to watch the sector, learn about the technology, and wait for better opportunities. And remember, even if you haven't invested yet, it's never too late. There will always be new opportunities in the market. If you enjoyed this video, like the video and subscribe to the channel because it really helps the channel grow. And let me know in the comments, do you think quantum computing stocks are a bubble or the next big tech revolution? Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.